How's it going, guys? It's Ahmad here from Raising Larry.
And it's Yusuf over here.
Welcome back to episode 3. Let's get right to it. Yesterday was a good day for Philadelphia.
And everybody.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, everybody. Finally, Meek got free after, a very controversial and unfair sentencing. And then also Philadelphia also won, and they're going to round 2. So it's a really good sign for Philadelphia, if you ask me.
Yeah, that Philly team is really dangerous, I think, because they've got inexperience, yes, but I also feel like it's, that like sort of like amateur's luck, beginner's luck sort of thing, where like they don't really know what to expect, so they're just going to make it through.
Mm-hmm.
It's that sort of thing. If their players are all healthy, they've got like one of the best defensive teams in the league. They've got a lot of like really, really good 3-point shooting coming off the bench. They picked up Bellinelli. During the year, they picked up Ilyasova.
Yeah.
So they've got all that it takes. They got defense, they got 3-point shooting, they got a big, they got a point. Those are like all the sort of pieces in a formula that you would look for to a team that could maybe potentially make a finals run.
And honestly, I think they are going to make the finals because by how the Cavs are looking right now, at least those first 4 games they played, they only won 2 right now. The series is tied 2-2. And right now, they're about to start playing from when we're recording this podcast. So,
yeah, we'll update you that.
Yeah, we'll let you know what happens. But so far, how the Cavs are playing, they're not going to beat the 76ers. The Sixers they're too quick. Embiid is playing really well. Bellinelli, Ilyasova are playing really well too. And then they have just a lot of talent. And LeBron can only do so much for them. And Ben Simmons, LeBron 2.0, is tearing it up as well. So if the Cavs keep playing how they are, it's not looking good for them. I think Philly will beat them in the semifinals or the Eastern Conference Finals in at least 5 or 6, to be honest.
All of this, like, it makes sense in a vacuum, right? But we all know that, like, LeBron in the game, in that series, like, he may just turn on to another level, and then it's over again. Like, the guy's made it to how many straight Eastern?
Like
how many
7
finals?
or
7?
8, yeah.
Like, you just don't bet against that. So there's always that part of me saying, we're going to look back on this in like a month and like laugh at, we actually thought LeBron and the Cavs wouldn't make it to the finals. It's that sort of thing. But right now, I mean, Philly's posing a big-time threat. I don't really see anybody else in the East because, I mean, Toronto's looked a little bit fuzzy right now against Washington, and Washington's like the most inconsistent team ever.
Yeah.
And then who else is that?
Celtics and Bucks.
Yeah, and Boston. I mean, if they're having trouble stopping Giannis and nobody else,
yeah,
like I don't see them stopping Philly.
Because even the Bucks, there's only Giannis, and then Middleton is playing really well too. Middleton is like
he basically won that game for them, though.
Yeah, definitely. But his shooting chart is like 70% from everywhere. Like, he's shooting out of his mind. And honestly, the Celtics, I know they're still severely undermatched, but we didn't think that they would get this far or put up this kind of fight against the Bucks. But here they are, Yeah, it's really just all Brad Stevens. And that can only go so far. Once you hit the talent part of the 76ers and the Cavs, there's not much that they can do from there.
Yeah, I feel like in the playoffs, like in the regular season, you could kind of like, with really good coaching, you could kind of get around these sort of like little games where you thought that you would lose. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in the playoffs, when like your rotation is much shorter, you got like a 7-guy rotation.
Yeah,
it's talent. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much that good coaching can do for you. Like, I think good coaching can win Boston this series against Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's going to get them to the finals where they'd have to beat teams that are like severely more talented than them at their phase right now, because this team right now is missing their 2 best players. Marcus Smart's just coming back.
Yeah, he played really well too in this game back.
Yeah, I don't know. It is fun to play what if, though. Like, what if Gordon Hayward doesn't get injured in 5 minutes? Is this team like solidified as the number 1 right now?
Yeah, easily. To be honest, if they were solid the whole year, there's no question about they'll be going to the finals.
But
again.
also,
Going to the
would
finals.
Jason Tatum have developed as much? Like, you know what I mean? You kind of
Maybe not.
Maybe
yeah.
it's like a blessing in disguise. Like they were 1 year too early anyway, but now they developed Tatum, and then they're going to be even better next year. You know?
Wow, that's really scary next year too, because if hopefully Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have a good summer and they progress a lot, so they're going to be all stacked next year.
And they're going to have some big time draft picks coming up again, right? Don't they have Sacramento or who was it? Sacramento's or was it Phillies? Remember they got in that trade to trade out of one.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
So they got Tatum and that pick is going to be coming up next year. So even though this team it keeps getting better and better, they're still going to have that like young infusion coming. So
and don't forget, Fultz is on the Sixers too, and he's barely played a series, so maybe he'll make an impact next series. But yeah, so far it looks like it's going to be the Sixers in the finals from me, if you ask me.
Unless LeBron does what we all expect him to do.
And LeBron, honestly, so far it looks like he's a GOAT, and he can do GOAT things whenever he wants. So he'll probably drop a triple-double every game if he needs to. But we'll see, because it's going to be a tough defensive matchup, to be honest.
What are you thinking about the whole matching suits thing? Is this just like a camaraderie thing, or is this Is this just LeBron being extra again?
No, I don't think it's LeBron being extra. It's just like maybe it's, the team bonding it's a way for them to feel closer together, I guess.
What I want to know is if it's custom suits and it takes a while to get fitted and all this, and Isaiah Thomas got fitted.
Oh yeah.
How the hell do Lance? What's his name? Larry Nance and everybody who came in over the trade deadline, how do they all have their suits already?
They probably got express shipping or express tailoring. But yeah, I think I think it's a good time to move on to the Warriors and Pelican series. And
that's going to be.
To me, I think the Pelicans are going to take it. Honestly,
I don't know about that.
Playoff Rondo is looking real good. Drew Holiday, AD, man. I can only imagine. Honestly, if DeMarcus was playing right now,
I think they're playing better without him, man.
Even if he was playing, it would be them against the Sixers in the championship. Honestly, that would be my. I'll put my money on that.
I think with DeMarcus going out, it was a little bit addition by subtraction sort of thing. Like he's
True,
really talented.
Yeah, AD has sprung up a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Since DeMarcus, he's like the best player since January. Since DeMarcus Cousins got injured, he's been the best player in the whole league.
That's why I don't know if you saw that report. I just saw it. I think it was today or yesterday that the Pelicans were not looking to offer Boogie the max. Mm-hmm. They were actually looking to offer him like a couple years, like a 2-3 year deal. For less than the max. Because, I mean, I wouldn't blame him either. I mean, Mirotic came in and they started playing better.
The clean-shaven Mirotic, man. Who would have thought just shaving your beard would do all these wonders? Mirotic is playing like crazy. Sure, he takes a lot of ill-advised shots, but, dude, they freaking go in, man.
No, that was he spaces the floor really well for them, and they've always got, like, 2 points out there now with Rondo and Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
I think it works really well for that team. The thing is, that series, it all depends on Steph Curry's health. Mm-hmm. Because I think that if Curry comes back to start the series, that Golden State's got it.
Yeah.
But there have been reports circling around that Curry may not be ready for Game 1.
Okay.
And if he's missing like half the series and the Pels can sneak a few, maybe shift the home court, then it kind of gets interesting because the Warriors don't really have an answer for Anthony Davis. I mean, nobody does.
Nobody.
So... And the way Drew Holiday's been playing, I don't think they got an answer.
No, honestly, this is probably their best matchup because if you look at it,
best matchup for who?
For Pelicans, because they have Holiday and Rondo in the backcourt. Let's say Curry doesn't come back, then it's Quinn Cook and Klay Thompson. Bro, Klay Thompson did not even touch the ball the last game in the fourth.
Yeah, he's been disappointed. I thought with Curry out, he's going to take over.
Man, they're not giving him the chance. It was literally give it 8 to AD and just get out of the way. I felt so bad. And you could tell that he was disappointed. He wasn't getting back on defense. You could tell by his body language that he didn't want to be on the court. So if that gets to him eventually, then I don't know if he's going to be able to, pop off and get those 37, 35 points in a quarter. But that's Holiday and Rondo are really good defensive guards, and without Curry, their only offense is going to come from KD, and KD might and probably will get shut down by Anthony Davis.
Nobody can shut down KD, bro.
It's like two two impossible guards against each other. So
but here's the thing: you mentioned Rondo. With Rondo, it's like you never know what to believe because he hasn't been a good defensive player the last few years. I think with him, it's literally like if he wants to care, he will.
It looks like he is. He's been talking about watching all this film, playoff Rondo. It just seems like it's been working. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, he looks really good. And then Mirotic, he's playing well. Mirotic, Draymond, I think I kind of like that matchup. It's going to be kind of scrappy down there. It might not even be down in the paint because Mirotic likes the three. So
the only thing is that with Rondo's lack of shooting, the Warriors, who are already a really good defensive team, can kind of sag off of him, right? Mm-hmm. The Blazers couldn't really get away with that because they weren't as talented as the Warriors are on the defensive side. But I think that if you start to sag off of Rondo and you can kind of like distribute your defense throughout the perimeter so that you can kind of stop those 3-point shots that the Pelicans have been hitting lately, that kind of like equilibrates things. So with the Warriors, when I look at them, even though they don't have Steph right now, I look and I see Kevin Durant, and usually I would be very quick to put Kevin Durant as the best player in the series, unless he's playing LeBron James. But right now, with the way Anthony Davis is playing, I think it's like a wash, basically. Yeah. But the thing is that I think that the Warriors have the next best player. I think Klay Thompson is still the next best player on the team.
Well, let's not forget the Pelicans just shut down Lillard and McCollum. They completely. It was a sweep, So if Alvin Gentry is doing great defensive work over there, if they're able to watch the film, they have right defense ready for whatever Curry with Curry or without Curry, then I think it'll definitely be a 6-game or 7-game series, unlike that sweep that happened that last year.
The thing is that with the way Portland plays, isn't it kind of just like Dame and CJ kind of creating their own shots, whereas Klay Thompson's got like these elaborate sets that Steve Kerr runs for him, and he kind of just gets open. So I don't think that like the two defensive matchups are kind of like equivalent, but I can see how you're saying how when the Pelicans just shut down like two of the best guards in the league, that they may have like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, if he comes back, would have trouble when they come back. But so, who do you think is going to take the series? Do you think it's? I
think it's going to be Pelicans.
Look, let's set the theoretical at Steph comes back game 3.
Okay.
Who do you have taking the series?
If he comes back game 3, I think it would be 1-1 by that time, and I would be taking the Pelicans in 7.
You see, I also think that it would be 1-1, but I think that if Steph comes back, I think the Warriors take it in 6. I think they're that good. Like, they're so much better than anybody else that it's nice to talk about the Pelicans and playoff Rondo, but we've got 2-time MVP, we've got another MVP, we've got like the best shooter in the league, we've got the best role player in the league. There's just so much going on, a great coach. I just think the Golden State, when healthy, is just another level better than everybody else.
I think... Let the fans let us know what you guys think. Who's right, me or Yusuf? I'm saying Pelicans in 7. He's saying Warriors in 6 or 7, right?
I think if Steph comes back game 3, I think it's Warriors in 6.
Oh, Warriors in 6. I'm saying Pelicans in 7. Let us know what you guys think. And
do you want to talk about? Okay, really quickly. Who do you think would win in the Western Conference Finals if we went your direction and we have the Pels moving on, and let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Houston moves on?
Wow. Dang. I'm going Pelicans, to be honest.
Okay, you're feeding off the hype right now. This
it's momentum is on their side.
No, there's only so much momentum we can do for you.
Yeah.
Because I think Houston's just a much better team. But
I don't know, man. I really don't know. Pelicans looking real good.
No, they're not that good. But if Golden State makes it, here's the thing. I still think Golden State wins that series.
Yeah, if Golden State against Rockets?
Yeah.
Golden State wins.
I still think Golden State wins. I think that it's cute what the Rockets have done. Like, really good team.
Yeah.
If Golden State gets knocked out, I think the Rockets might win it all. Because I think that whoever wins the West is winning the title.
Yeah, easily. Whoever from the East is coming out there now.
That Western Conference Finals is the finals.
Yeah.
So if Golden State gets knocked out, I think Houston's going to get that ring. But I still think Golden State's going to make it. I think it would be